I want to do a quick comparison between the voltage reading that we get with the KillAWatt meter and the voltage reading that we get with the Fluke 321 and the 325 clamp meters. I've had this thing for almost 15 years and it still works great, so I'm interested to see if there's any difference. Volts on this one, and go 2 volts on this one. Already on AC. Alright. So that's what we're getting with that one, 121.4. And with that one, I didn't record me putting the test leads in, but I pressed the hold button and we got 120.8. Now here's what we're showing with the KillAWatt meter, 120.3. Here's the 321, 120.8. And then the 325 is beeping because I have it on hold, is 121.4. So they're all pretty close, so that's good. They're all pretty accurate. I was really just trying to see how accurate this one was, but yeah, it's pretty close to these, so I'm happy with that. The difference between the 325 and the 321 is the 321 is quite a bit more basic. So you got off, amps, only measures AC amps, continuity, and AC volts. So you got the hold button, there's no light for the display. This one has AC and DC volts, continuity, capacitance, temperature, because this one has a thermocouple that came with it, which is right here. AC and DC amperage and frequency. Also can switch between the minimum and maximum readings, as well as Fahrenheit and Celsius for temperature. This is to switch between alternating current and direct current, and it also zeroes out the display. And then this one has a backlight. So, yep, this one's, and it's also true RMS. That one is not, so this one's got more features. Now what I want to do is an amp test comparison between the Fluke meters and the KillAWatt meter. So we're going to turn this to amps. And it's hooked up to this antique ceiling fan here, which I'll turn on in just a second. I'm going to have to kind of hold this so it doesn't rub against the rotor, but yeah, let me get this all set up and running. I put it around that wire right there that's going into it, and I put it on hold after letting it sit there for a little bit, and it's pulling 1.2 amps according to this meter. So we'll test this one next. And here's what we're getting on the KillAWatt meter. It's a little higher. Yeah, so it's still pretty close though. So that's definitely within an acceptable margin. And here is the 325. We're at 1.68 compared to 1.2. Pretty close though. And then that one is reading the highest. So that's weird that they're all different. Turn that off so it quits beeping. I'm going to test this one again. I tested them both again, and the 321 is now reading a little bit higher, 1.5, and then we're at 1.68 with the 325. So they're pretty much almost equal with each other, so that's pretty good. And we're still getting 1.92 over here, but still very close. I just did another test on the other wire, because one's hot and one's neutral. And now I'm getting a higher reading with both Fluke meters. 2.1 on this one and 2.27 on this one. So that's interesting. Still what we're getting over here. I'm going to run one more test and put these back on the wire that I tested originally. And we're back down a bit, so that's interesting. If anyone knows why I'm getting a different reading on the hot and neutral for amperage, please let me know, because I don't think there's anything wrong with this motor. And when I put the clamp around both wires at the same time, you know, there's no difference. It just cancels out. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the motor. But that's weird. I'll do it with this one too. Yeah, there's no difference. Just cancels out. So if anybody knows, let me know. Okay, so doing this test again, but with the second ceiling fan. This one has a slightly more powerful motor, draws a little bit more amps. That's what we're pulling on there. And we'll do the 321. And I already tested this, and I'm getting different results from what I got with that. You'll see what I mean. So there is one wire, and we'll go to the other wire. You can see I'm getting the same reading on both wires. And I'll do it with this one. So yeah, about the same reading on both wires. And actually, these are pretty much on par with the, well, you can't see it anymore, but when I had it on there, that's pretty much the same as this. So that's interesting. It's also interesting that it's getting the same amperage on both wires when that one was getting different amperage on both wires.